Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Before I start, I have to apologize for my voice. I don't feel sick, but my voice tells me otherwise. I'll try to keep it up throughout the presentation. So I'm wondering, how many of you are mobile developers already? Sort of. So how many of you are thinking about becoming a mobile developers? Great. Thank you very much. I'll start this presentation by sharing my personal moment of realization of what it means to be a mobile developer. So I went to an aquarium a few months ago on the Gold Coast, Australia. There was a artificial lagoon called Shark Bay, and it had an underwater observatory like this. And there were a lot of people and kids and adults, and they were taking photos of this awe-inspiring species with sharks and fish with tentacles. And so when I looked at those people, a lot of them actually, more than half of them, they were using mobile phones. I don't know if that was that awe-inspiring moment or what, but I just realized that what we are doing is really changing how people interact with the world fundamentally. People will use mobile phones more and more to do daily things, including taking photos or doing things. So I think it's really exciting to be a mobile developer, to be part of this, paradigm shifting activities. And in the meantime, we might be able to make some money as well doing that. So, so it's good. So, but being a mobile developer these days takes some time to reflect because there are so many platforms that we can choose. So let's have a look how many platforms there are. There's Symbian, iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile, Migo, Palm, Bada. There are just too many platforms that you can choose as a mobile developer. And not only there are too many, not only are there mobile platforms, there are technologies that are associated with these platforms. There's C language, C++, Flash, Java, etc. The list goes on. So, not surprisingly, according to a survey done by Vision Mobile recently, one developer is working on almost 3 platforms already. So it's really hard to choose what platform that you want. So here's a big question mark. How do you choose? According to the survey, market penetration and revenue potential are the top deciding factors when it comes to choosing a platform. Not only that, of course, tools and platform features are very important because they are the enablers for you to make compelling applications. So, in this talk, I'm going to talk about new Qt APIs, also known as Qt Mobility APIs, and how it helps you choose our Qt and Nokia platforms by satisfying all these deciding factors. And this is pretty much a very serious subject, but what's the point of being serious about serious stuff already? So I have a few jokes throughout my slides, so I hope you enjoy them as well. So Qt Mobility, what is it? It's a new Qt API targeting cross-platform mobile application development. So basically, it's just a Qt project. And by that means, it'll give you cross-platform application development frameworks. So once you create your application or using Qt and Qt Mobility APIs, it'll run on other supported platforms by recomplication if it's C++. So it's very clear, but in case it's not, let's visualize a little bit what Mobility API is. So if you Google images using Qt mobility as a keyword, you get something like this. So are we old and tired? No, I don't think so. Actually, we are young and exciting. We're just like a toddler. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So this is Snapshot of Qt Mobility. This project commenced in first quarter of 2009, so it's a little bit less than 2 years old, hence a toddler. And we have 6 months release cycle, and this year we had 2 releases. We are going to have 2 releases. 1.0 was released in April earlier this year, and 1.1 will be released very soon. In 1.1, we have about 17 components or APIs, and we are growing really fast. There are about 350 classes already, and it is a third of what Qt is already. Qt is 16 years old, and we are already a third of it, so we are growing really fast. There are about 3,700 public methods that you can choose from these 17 components. It's about 10 public methods per class. And Qt Mobility is supporting 6 Nokia mobile platforms by 1.1. They include S60 3rd edition Feature Pack 1 and Feature Pack 2, S60 5th edition, and Symbian 3, MIMO, and MIGO platform. So, when we look at this snapshot, it just reminds me of a story. There was a product management guru called Rich Mironov. He said, "Your product is your baby, and managing a product is like very similar to parenting. So you have to be caring, loving, allow the baby make many mistakes before it reaches true potential." But with the speed of this development, the mobility baby is like sprinting ever since it took the first baby step. So that's the speed that we are going at the moment. So I'm going to cover a little bit of API creation process that we have. So we get feedback from a lot of different sources. First, we look at Nokia platform groups. We have Symbian teams and MIGO teams. So we get requirements from them. Also, we get external feedback through our mailing list or labs, and we incorporate their requests or feature requests, API requests, like that. And we're also looking at already existing specification. So if there's a new advanced cool feature, we want to have that in our APIs. And we have a team doing, of course, market benchmark. So we want to be stay competitive against our competitors. And after we getting all these inputs from various sources, it's just huge amount of requirements, and we cannot satisfy them all at once. So when we design our APIs, we consider extensibility heavily. So we want to make it easy to extend without breaking binary compatibility, and we have the same promise as Qt has regarding binary compatibility. We try not to break. We don't break binary compatibility between minor releases. And after considering extensibility, there's a API design draft. It's going some internal reviews, etc. And then once API design is there, we start verifying the API design by implementing these on our supported platforms. And we call them backends. We have the front-end API design, and these are the backends. So we primarily targeting Nokia platforms, of course, the platforms that I mentioned just before. And we have some desktop platform backends across Linux, Windows, and Mac. But they're not our primary target. And then once we have like a few backends to verify the API, we feel comfortable that API has certain quality, and then we do technology preview publicly. So general public can look at our APIs, and they make more suggestions and give us feedback. And then after that, we go to beta stage. by the beta stage, we think we have pretty much good set of backends across all our tier 1 Nokia platforms. And people should be able to verify those functionalities on those phones. And then it reaches the final, and that's when binary compatibility promise is enforced. Okay. So now Qt Mobility roadmap. It's a meaty part of this talk. But before I go into this talk, I'm going to introduce an interesting new word that I found some time ago. It's called aptizen. It's a word that created by a technology writer in Korea. It's like a netizen, and aptizen is are people who uses applications for pretty much everything. When they get up, they use application to check their day schedule and just that kind of people. So the mobile phone is an integral part of his or her daily activities. So I can give you a huge list of 17 APIs, but it's boring, So I created an imaginary person who is an aptizen, and he's a businessman and a wife and with 3 kids, and he uses mobile phone for everything. So I'm going to go through my APIs by going through his days. So let's maybe I like visualizing things, so let's imagine how he might look. Oh, wrong picture. Of course, it's looking, good. So this guy I choose to be, our example of an aptizen. So does anybody have a good suggestion as his name? What should he call him? I don't want to call him Mr. Aptizen. Joe. Thank you. So Joe has a very busy day today. He has a business meeting with his Japanese business partner, and he's got a staff meeting during the day, and in the evening he has to go to the movies with his family. It's a very busy day. And let's see how he uses Qt Mobility APIs to go through his day. So in Qt Mobility 1.1, let's have a look. So it's in the morning. Joe goes to work, but now he has a meeting with his Japanese partner. So he's watching a video cast of language lessons so he can impress the Japanese partner. So we have multimedia API to achieve that. And when he arrives in the office, he checks his mobile phone. He puts some more files and presentation slides on his mobile phone, and he checks the capacity of SD card. We have system information to access those system capabilities. And he's using an email client that's using our messaging API. He goes through all the emails and looking at the materials that's going to be discussed in the meeting. And just before he leaves the office, he just realized that, I better check the Japanese stock market, how it is going. So he downloads new plugin for his stock tracking application. We have service framework, which is kind of a plugin system, but it's easier to find those plugins, and it has metadata associated with it. So using our system, a service framework, it's easy to create new plugin in the existing applications. Now he leaves the office. Joe goes to take a taxi, and he continuously browse the internet using bearer management. Bearer management is connection management, and it allows you to do seamless application roaming. So it won't give you all the pop-ups. If you specify the priorities or preferences of the network, it will automatically roam between the networks. Just before he goes to the partner meeting, he look up a location-based application to find nice coffee shop, so he can go to there with his partner later on. So he went to the meeting, had a meeting, it was very good, and after the meeting, he realized that he's just nearby his friends. So he opens up his contacts application, which is associated with location information. So he checks whether his friend is around. And then he goes to his friend's office, finds some more business opportunities there, and using Versit API, he shares vCards. So contact, Versit, they go hand in hand. So Versit is supporting vCards, vCard version 3.0, and we're planning to support 4.0 as well. He comes back to the office, and now he wanted to relax, so he plays a little game using Sensors API. We have Sensors API supports accelerometer, light sensors, compass, magnetometer, orientation, proximity, rotation, and tap sensors. And in the afternoon, he might not want to, Joe downloads some new widgets. We have publish and subscribe API to easily achieve that kind of things. It's sharing context-sensitive information between applications running on different processes. So using Mobility API 1.0, we can do a lot of things already. Let's follow his day through Mobility API 1.1. In the afternoon, he searches online calendars to find some cultural events, and he sends the events information to his Japanese business partner. So while he's here, they can, look around and check out some cultural things in this city. So we have an organizer API coming in 1.1, and Versit organizer also, again, goes hand in hand with the organizer to support iCal. And in the afternoon, he does some meeting with his staff. They were, madly brainstorming on the whiteboard, and he takes a picture of that whiteboard after the brainstorming. So we have a camera API that extends multimedia API, which was introduced in 1.0. Now, he receives a lot of emails with attachments. He saves those files in his mobile phone. And then Joe realized that I received a very important, file sometime last week, but I don't remember where I saved that file. So he's using Document Gallery, which is a content discovery API. So by specifying the filters, it's very easy to find what kind of contents, where it's saved, what's the metadata, things like that. Now he had finishes his day, and he goes to home to go to the movies with his family. He checks the cinema timetable and finds the driving directions. So we have Service Framework API that supports inter-process communication. So 1.0, we had Service Framework, which was kind of plugin. So it loads new plugin within the same process. Now in 1.1, we extend that, so you can invoke a service that's running on different threads, different process. So it's easy to use one application to do something, and then use maps and navigation application to search routes and interact with the map. And then while he's driving, he might want to adjust the strength of the haptics feedback, so he gets more stronger feedback when he's driving. It might not be safe, but we have feedback API to support that. We provide API to adjust the haptics feedback as well as a file-based feedback. And then he sees a movie with his family, and he finds a nice, ice cream shop for his kids that the kids love. So maybe he saves the shop as a landmark in his application. And Qt Mobility 1.1 comes with all these extensions or new APIs. And more excitingly, we are adding QML bindings towards all these APIs, including 1.0 contents. So all this stuff can be achieved using QML, not in C++, but in declarative QML language. So let's go to Mobility 1.2. This is the next release that we are planning to do for the first half of next year. We have a few candidates here. Okay. At the cinema, Joe finds a new movie poster and it has an NFC tag. So he tags his phone and retrieves all the movie information from the poster. We have an NFC, a near field communication API that's coming in 1.2. And rather than fiddling with the phone while he's driving, he can use Bluetooth hands-free device because we are supporting Bluetooth from 1.2. And with accounts API will be added, so Joe can log in once and use many services from the same service provider. And we are extending messaging API with instant messaging types. So Joe can chat with friends using his mobile phone. It's not groundbreaking, but we are catching up with the competitors and we are closing the gap as soon as we can. So those were committed contents for 1.2, and we have a few new exciting candidates that might come in 1.2 timeframe. Okay, the first one is augmented reality. Let's imagine Joe, one of his kids has a birthday, so he wants to buy his son, a nice new robot, and he goes to a toy shop, and using his mobile phone, he can tag the augmented reality tag and look at the robot in 3D format. So augmented reality API can allow you to do that kind of advanced things. Voice framework is under development. So now Joe can safely do voice commands while he's driving. Also, there's another exciting API in the pipeline. It's face recognition. So let's say Joe takes a lot of photos with his phone, and using face recognition API, he can automatically tag his friends on Facebook. And Presence API will be added to 1.2. It's a candidate, and it gives you a synchronized presence management. Okay, I'm going to jump into 1.3. This is second half of 2011. From Mobility 1.2, our release cycle is kind of synchronized with Migo, Migo.com. So from 1.2, we are adding Migo as our supported platforms, and we are kind of in sync with Migo release cycle. So Qt Mobility API 1.3 is coming around, our current thinking is around August next year. And our current thinking is we want to enhance more use cases to the existing APIs. And of course, we've been sprinting for the last 2 years, and then we realized that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we are we might want to slow down a little bit and focus on quality assurance, making sure Qt Mobility APIs are running on all these supported platforms without a problem. And of course, in 1.3, we are going open governance. So we open up our road mapping process and requirement management tool, and we expect people to contribute our road mapping and contributions in code terms. So in 1.3, we don't have a concrete plan yet, but this is the general direction that we want to go. Okay. I'm going to cover supported platforms. They have different life cycle individually, so I'm going to cover those. So S60 third edition feature pack 1 and feature pack 2, they are keypad-based, non-touch devices. So we are adding new features up until Mobility 1.1, but after 1.1, new features will not be added to those platforms. That's because the hardware itself is very limited. It cannot do a lot of advanced stuff with the memory and capabilities. S60 5th edition is going to be supported continuously through the next year. And Symbian 3 support has been added, from 1.0, and it's our N8 platform. So of course we are going to support it continuously. Symbian 4 is a new platform that's going to be added from 1.2. And MIMO 5 N900 has reached its own life cycle, so there's no way we can add new functionalities to the device, so we will end the new feature addition by the end of 1.1. And Harmattan is a new MeeGo device that's coming from Nokia, and the support is added from 1.1, and we will continue to support that platform. And as I said earlier, from 1.2, we are supporting MeeGo.com platform. So it's a new exciting platform. So far, MIMO 5 was our primary development platform. So when we design our APIs, we first implement the backends on MIMO 5 and verify our APIs. But from 1.2, MeeGo will be our primary development platform. And they quite diverse in terms of capabilities and form factors. So I'm going to highlight a few of them and gives you some perspective. Symbian S60 3rd edition and 5th edition, MIMO 5, there are already millions of devices deployed, and they will get Qt and Mobility via software upgrade or via smart installer. So, targeting these devices, you already have millions of potential customers. So I wanted to highlight that. So that's an immediate revenue potential for mobile developers. And Symbian 3, Symbian 4, and Harmattan, they are like high-end devices with very rich user interface. On these devices, you can create very innovative user experience. So by creating very innovative user experience and combining them with the very advanced mobility APIs, you can create more engaged customers, more loyal customers. And with MeeGo.com, you are going beyond mobile devices. Qt and mobility APIs are part of MeeGo core APIs. That means MeeGo Qt mobility APIs will be available not only on handset UX, it will be available on netbooks and TV segment, all the other segments. So once you start investing on Qt mobility, by the time 1.2, you can target not just mobile phones, and more devices. So here's a recap. So in 1.0, we had 10 APIs, and it was supported on 4 Nokia mobile platforms. 1.1, it will have 17 APIs plus QML bindings. And we are supporting 6 Nokia mobile platforms. In 1.2, we will have 21 APIs or more if we conclude on those contribution cases. And they'll be running on 7 Nokia mobile platforms and MeeGo. And 1.3, we don't have specific APIs to name here, but this is the general direction. We are going open governance. We're going to expect more contributions from the community. and the existing APIs will be enhanced with new use cases. Okay, so there was my roadmap view, but after I joined, sorry, hope it's not too painful to hear my voice. So after I joined the mobility team, and I started to learning all these APIs, and I thought, I need to try this out and really find out how easy it is for me to use these APIs. So one day we had during the lunch we had a chat about cool API applications, and I had an idea which is called "I am falling, help me." So basically, when the phone drops, it'll start screaming. So I had these ideas, and I wanted to try it out. So after lunch, I went to my room, started Qt Creator, started a new project, and this is the result. So this was my first application using Qt Mobility APIs for the first time. And guess how long it took? It took me a few hours. I did everything from scratch using Qt Creator. It surprised me the most, but it surprised everybody else. I was pleasantly surprised how easy it was to use these APIs. I was using Sensors API and Multimedia API. And just a matter of few hours, I was just running around with the application, just showing off my new creation. But by the end of few hours, I had a big bruise on my palm because catching this heavy phone was a bit of danger. So yeah, this was my I'm really sorry. This was my first application. But I have a real demo here. I don't have the actual device, but this will show you how Qt Mobility will work with QML. So this, sorry. Is it working? Sorry. I downloaded this before, so it should be just running. It seems it's running. Sorry about this. Let me try my network connection here and So it's a pure QML application, and one of our colleagues, he created a simple phone using just pure QML and Qt Mobility. So here's the launcher, and at the top you see the battery status there coming from system information. And using the location API, he fetches the weather information from Yahoo. And this is an alarm application, and he sets the alarm, and when the alarm goes off, it's using multimedia APIs in QML. And this is using sensors API, so these bubbles will change its direction if the user moves the phone. And his multiple home screen. It has call history. Qt Mobility does not have telephony API yet, so it's not using mobility APIs. And of course, you can change the order of the icons like that. And Qt Mobility has context API, and it comes with QML binding in 1.1. So all this simple phone UI was created by one person using QML over a few months. So it just shows you how easy it is to use QML. And it took me 3 hours to create my funny app, but I don't know how easier it was going to be using QML. So it really improves the productivity. Here's a demo of copy and paste. And the feedback API that I mentioned before gives you haptics feedback that also has QML binding. So sorry I couldn't get the actual device today, but that shows you how it can be used. Okay. So when we design our APIs, I already told you that we consider extensibility, but at the same time we need to keep things simple things simple. When I said, 350 classes, that sounds like huge amount of classes. How can I find the right class, right method to achieve my simple use case? So when we design our, so we try to keep simple things simple. So here's an example. Here's about 10 lines of code, including comments, that you need to take a photo. And these 10 lines of code will work just across all these 8 platforms that we support. So that's the power of Qt Mobility. So here we create a new camera instance, creates a new viewfinder, and there's another instance of Qt Still image capture. And then we start the camera, lock this camera, and then just capture to a designated file and unlock the camera. So that's all you need. And of course, you can achieve that in QML. And another, as I mentioned, extensibility. So here's an example from Sensors API. So hardware is evolving like very rapidly. We don't know what kind of hardware will be available, what kind of new sensors available next month or a few months down the track. So, so here is a generic way to access sensors data rather than instantiating Q accelerometer directly. We are instantiating Q sensors and reading the values generically. So it'll be easier to replace the sensors later. And it is service-oriented. It is an example of map service provider. Qt Mobility Maps and Navigation API comes with a Nokia plugin, so it's using OV Maps, REST-based online maps. So here's a generic geo-mapping manager, routing manager, search manager, and then when we just create service provider, we just name the name of the plugin, and the rest will just work as specified, even if you change the plugin later. So these are the basic principles that we keep in our mind. Okay, now move on to accessibility. How do you find Qt Mobility APIs? The easiest way is using Qt Nokia SDK. So Nokia SDK will have emulation, debugging, deployment, and it'll have the right versions of Qt and Mobility. But Mobility API is also available separately as a source package, and we provide Symbian sys package and Debian package for MIMO 5. And in the future, we will provide, of course, RPM package for MIGO as well. So if you really want to try the cutting edge stuff that we are currently developing, you can go to our Git repository and check out what's there. Yes? Yes, so MIGO has weekly, build. So that's the mode that we are going as well. So Qt Mobility 1.2 will have weekly packages. So for the beta, we release a sys package so you can install. Install a package. That's not in our plan at the moment. Yeah, definitely. But as I said, our primary target is Nokia platforms. So on Windows, we don't have the plan yet. But I'll take your comment as a good feedback. Yeah, thanks. So deployment, so Symbian 3, and so it's important that you get these APIs and libraries on the actual device so that you can start writing applications. So Symbian 3 and the new S65.0 devices will have Qt Mobility pre-installed. I'm very conservative here, so I'll say from the first quarter of 2011, but it might come earlier than that. We are working hard to achieve that. And S65.0 and 3.x, Qt Mobility will be rolled out via software updates in the next few months, and they'll be available via Smart Installer. And there are different versioning between Qt and Mobility. So these are the combinations that we are trying to focus. We don't want to have too many variations because that's very hard to verify on the device. So Qt 463 and Mobility 102 will be combined, and they will be available in Nokia Qt SDK. And Qt 4.7 and Qt Mobility 1.1, they are the set. Because Qt Mobility 1.1 has QML support, and QML is added to Qt 4.7. Okay, so here's the way for you to get involved. As I said, from 1.2, we are going more open governance after, so we are really looking forward to get your feedback and contributions. The current mode of contribution is for you to review our technology preview and beta package. So just before we finalize our API and enforce the binary compatibility, we really want you to take a look at whether our current API design is achieving what you want to do. And then we have a public requirement system where you can submit your suggestions or patches, bug reports. So here's a bug report system, and we have tutorials for you to submit merges. And for the desktop backends, we would very much appreciate if you start contributing. And here's a timeline from the tech preview beta final. Your opportunity to contribute with features and the API changes will reduce as we go towards the beta and final. So by the time we do tech preview, by the end of tech preview, we assume that we got all the inputs from internally and externally, and by the end of beta, we have all the backends that you can verify on the actual devices. So in conclusion, in the beginning, I mentioned that there are 4 deciding factors for you to choose a platform. So platform feature-wise, Qt Mobility provides competitive 20 or more APIs by 1.2, and we have QML bindings. I think it's a very strong point for you to improve the productivity and create stunning API applications. And on the tool side, we have SDK, which improves the ease of development significantly. And on the market penetration, using Qt and Mobility, you are targeting 8 platforms at once with an effort of targeting 1 platform. So it's a huge potential as a market penetration. And of course, revenue potential. There are over 100 million devices out there already that's going to have Qt and Mobility installed. So it's a great potential for your business. So I think we are very good with all these features, and I'm pretty sure we are satisfying your needs, and it'll be improving further and further in the coming months. So I hope you to enjoy involved in our journey and help create more artisans in the coming months. Thank you very much. Yes.
Just one question about 1.1 and Symbian 4. You mentioned that you don't plan to release 1.1 for Symbian 4.
Okay.
But currently it's supported in the Symbian 4.
Symbian 4 is not available yet.
Yeah, but
and it's in the works internally, and we are adding this support. And by the time 1.2 will have Symbian 4 support.
Okay.
So it's not publicly available yet, but
yeah. Okay.
Hi. So I would like to have more detail on the NFC API and single sign-on API. and I would like to understand if it's already possible to see the API somewhere or to comment on the API somewhere.
Okay. The NFC first. NFC is kind of new technology. So we have two delivery segments. For from 1.2, we will add kind of open use cases, non-secure use cases. So you can do tagging and exchange informations in a binary blob format. And in 1.3, we will add secure use cases that's needed for payment, ticketing, etc. The API has a draft already, and you can see it from a public. No? Okay, so our lead developer says no. Okay, so there is an API internally, but tech preview for 1.2 is planned at the end of this year. So you will see some API by week 50 or yeah. And please do comment comment on the API design, because we have very short lead time towards 1.2, and we need to get the input as soon as possible. And accounts API, it's just started, so we don't have the API to just share yet. But same as NFC, there will be API review in technology preview in week 50.
So I didn't see anything on the roadmap about the reintroduction or expansion of the telephony API. Is it planned that to reintroduce the notifications or even add things for, actually placing phone calls or even communicating with the dialer to place a phone call for you?
So currently it's on the highest list of our wish list, but we didn't plan for it yet. It's definitely not coming in 1.2. It might come with Mobility 1.3, but it's too soon to tell you when it's coming.
Are there some system information kind of thing, like low battery or USB? I asked it in the previous session, but they couldn't answer, so I'm asking you. For example, if I plug in a USB, I should get a notification. Some system-wide notification, low battery, and all these criterias. I didn't see them, even in the roadmap.
Yep. So in system information, there's a memory system information, display system information that that tells you what's the orientation, current orientation. When so all this memory and SD card, they are coming in 1.2.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. You divide here the Hermetin from the Migo.com. So I guess the Hermetin platform would be the handset, so the successor of the Maemo platform.
Yes.
Will it be possible to experience the Hermetin on the N900, or when will the first device be available?
I'm not the right person to say when the first device will be available. I don't know if you can run Hermetin on N900. I don't think it's possible.
I'd like to know a bit more about the augmented reality API that you're thinking about, and how will that fit in with the face recognition API you were talking about. I'm especially interested in are you able to follow objects between frames and track them?
Well, down the track, I see some overlap between augmented reality and face recognition. I cannot answer the details of the technical information at the moment, but if you give me your email address, I'll follow up later. I'm sorry, I don't have the technical details at the moment.
And I just one comment to that. I think actually following it up on the mailing list would make sense, because I think there are other people who are interested in that as well.
Yes.
So let's try to bring as much of this type of a discussion on the mailing list as possible. So everyone who's interested in, please go and subscribe to the list, and you'll keep updated on topics like this. Sorry? There is a mobility API mailing list available from the qt.nokia.com, so you can find the right list and subscribe to that.
I remember a few years ago, Nokia Research made an application for indoor localization by using Wi-Fi stations, and I know that they made some sort of a field test of this in Helsinki in a large shopping mall, and there's nothing coming out from that, and I've been trying to find out something about it, but nobody seems to know anything about it, and the guys who made it seem to have gone on to other stuff within Nokia and outside Nokia. So I'm asking you now again, are you planning on doing that?
You mean IP-based positioning?
Yes.
Yes. It's in our requirement gathering system, but it's not implemented just yet, but it's in one of the change requests against the existing location API. And at the moment, we see the use case in desktop platforms, so we didn't prioritize that change request as a high priority.
But would you then also provide the database for storing the location for each IP address that you're referring to? I'm not now talking about the same thing that Google has been doing, but rather more precise method of getting down to a few meters indoor. You know, just by simple triangulation, you can do that. That's I think what was done in the research as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. Alex, do you have a comment? Alex Blasha is our lead developer. He might be able to answer.
So, in the particular case of wireless positioning, there are two types of wireless positioning. One is IP-based positioning, which is you presumably have some database on the web somewhere, or possibly on a device, although that might be a bit infeasible. And then there is the positioning based on I have wireless LANs around me, triangulation, and again that's some kind of presumably look up on the device, etc. Both kinds of things are not supported at this stage. Here I'm speculating a bit, but if we were to add something like this to our APIs, it is most likely to be done in a way that it's transparent to you. So if you look at, for instance, the positioning API, it returns to you a default geoposition info source. At this point, that depending on the platform, that may vary, but in general, it encapsulates all the positioning methods which are potentially possible on the device. So in the case of Symbian, for instance, it will use AGPS, so the user has not disabled it. It would use GPS data if it's available. And in a similar fashion, we would probably even add features like that. If there would be some kind of additional positioning method, we would probably incorporate that into the existing API, so that the new positioning info source pointer would just transparently to you have more precise methods of doing that. You might conceive that you could possibly also set the positioning method. At the moment you can only say, well, use satellite or non-satellite or don't care. That might be something that might turn up in the API if we were to add this, but in general, we try to make it as abstract as possible so that you don't have to worry about it at all.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you very much. I hope you to enjoy the rest of the event. Conference. Thank you.